Welcome to the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. Are you a passionate believer in liberty and democracy? Are you concerned about the growing infiltration of Marxist and socialist ideology in our politics, media, and culture? This podcast was created by a citizen of the United States who was born and raised in Romania, a socialist country in Eastern Europe, during the 1970s and 1980s. As more and more members of our youth pivot towards Marxism, socialism, and communism in the United States of America and beyond, now, more than ever, it is important to focus on liberty and democracy, instead of the alluring Marxist and socialist trends which, as history repeatedly has shown, lead to repressive authoritarian regimes. Marxism does not lead to utopia either in the United States of America or anywhere else in the world. Let us question governments, policies, and manufactured social progressivism. Let us go back to the times when it was okay for us to agree to disagree. Welcome to the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. For the next few months, our podcast episodes published on Wednesdays will include excerpts from Maestro Cercia's ebook, Comparing and Contrasting the Republican, Democrat, and Libertarian Political Parties in the United States of America, to help you understand further the ideas behind the politics in the USA. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Thank you for joining today's Liberty and Democracy podcast. We will now listen to our ebook titled Comparing and Contrasting the Republican, Democrat, and Libertarian Political Parties in the United States of America. In today's episode, we will listen to Chapter 3, Democratic Party, including subchapters Democratic Party and Progressivism, as well as Democratic Party and Economic Policies. You are welcome to interact with our artificial intelligence chatbot and read the ebook online via the ebook page at www.sersea.com. Are you ready? Let's begin. Chapter 3, Democratic Party. Democratic Party and Progressivism. In the early 20th century, the Democratic Party underwent a significant transformation with the rise of progressivism. Progressives aimed to address the social and economic challenges that plagued American society at the time, such as poverty, inequality, and corruption. They advocated for an expanded government role in promoting social welfare and addressing the needs of the working class. Under the leadership of President Woodrow Wilson, the Democratic Party embraced many progressive ideals. One of the key accomplishments during this period was the passage of the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote. Additionally, Wilson implemented progressive policies such as the Federal Reserve Act and the Clayton Antitrust Act, aimed at regulating the economy and curbing the power of monopolies. However, the Democratic Party's embrace of progressivism was not without conflicts and contradictions. While progressivism aimed to uplift the working class and challenge corporate power, it also reflected the biases and prejudices of that time. For example, Wilson's administration actively promoted racial segregation and excluded African Americans from key leadership positions. In the following decades, the Democratic Party and progressivism continued to intersect, albeit in different ways. The New Deal era, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, marked a pivotal moment where progressive ideas took center stage. Roosevelt's policies, known as the New Deal, aimed to address the impacts of the Great Depression by implementing economic reforms and providing relief to those who were suffering. The New Deal greatly expanded the government's role in regulating the economy, establishing social safety nets, and creating jobs through public works projects. It introduced transformative programs such as Social Security, the Civilian Conservation Corps, and the Works Progress Administration. These initiatives sought to alleviate poverty and unemployment, while also introducing regulations on banking and finance to prevent another economic collapse. The Democratic Party's association with progressivism continued to evolve in the following decades. Through the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the party underwent a profound shift, aligning itself with the fight for racial equality and social justice. Led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., the Democratic Party pushed for legislation such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, aimed at dismantling segregation and safeguarding individual rights. In recent years, the Democratic Party's embrace of progressivism has regained momentum, particularly with the emergence of a new generation of Democrats often referred to as progressive Democrats or the Squad. Figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib advocate for bold and transformative policies like the Green New Deal, universal health care, and tackling income inequality. However, tensions and ideological struggles persist within the party, with centrist Democrats arguing for a more moderate approach that emphasizes pragmatism and compromise. This dichotomy between the progressive and centrist wings of the party has become evident in recent primary elections and policy debates, highlighting ongoing debates about the party's identity and priorities. In conclusion, the Democratic Party's relationship with progressivism has been a nuanced journey of synergy, conflict, and evolution. While both share aspirations for social justice and equality, the methods for achieving these goals have often diverged. Understanding the history and dynamics of this relationship is crucial for comprehending the Democratic Party's ideological landscape and its impact on American politics. As we move forward, we will further explore the contrasts and similarities between the Republican, Democratic, and Libertarian political parties, shedding light on the intricacies of American democracy. Democratic Party and economic policies. The Democratic Party has consistently advocated for intervention to address income inequality, viewing the government as a key player in bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. Progressing taxation is a mainstay of their beliefs, whereby individuals with higher incomes face higher tax rates. The intention behind this progressive tax policy is to facilitate the redistribution of wealth from the top to the bottom, ultimately aiming for a more equitable society. While skeptics argue that such an approach may stifle entrepreneurship and innovation, Democrats maintain that it is an essential step towards creating a fairer society. Another prominent feature of the Democratic Party's economic policies lies in their emphasis on social welfare programs. Throughout history, Democrats have championed expanded accessibility to healthcare, education, and various other social services. They hold the belief that these programs can play a crucial role in reducing inequality and enhancing overall societal well-being. An exemplar of their commitment to expanding healthcare access is the Affordable Care Act, colloquially known as Obamacare. Although this approach may place a heavier financial burden on the government, Democrats contend that the benefits of ensuring basic necessities for all citizens far outweigh the costs. Additionally, the Democratic Party places great importance on environmental protection and sustainable development. They aptly recognize the urgency of addressing climate change, investing in clean energy, and implementing regulations to curtail pollution. These policies often face staunch opposition from the Republican Party, which often prioritizes economic growth over environmental concerns. Democrats assert that safeguarding the environment is crucial not just for future generations' health and well-being, but also for creating new employment opportunities and driving innovation in renewable energy sectors. While the economic policies of the Democratic Party unquestionably reflect a more interventionist approach, it is essential to note that they do not align entirely with a libertarian perspective. Libertarians advocate for limited government intervention, allowing market forces to determine economic outcomes. They argue that excessive government regulation and intervention impede economic growth, restrict individual freedom, and yield unintended consequences. While I may have reservations about certain aspects of the Democratic Party's economic policies, I commend the party for its dedication to social welfare and the pursuit of equal opportunities for all citizens. Upon delving into the Democratic Party's economic policies, it becomes apparent that they endeavor to strike a delicate balance between safeguarding individual rights and fostering social equity. With their emphasis on progressive taxation, social welfare programs, and environmental protection, Democrats aim to shape a society that upholds compassion, fairness, and sustainability. While there may be divergent views on the effectiveness and necessity of specific policies, it is vital to recognize the underlying motivations driving the party's approach. Understanding the Democratic Party's economic policies not only enhances our understanding of politics but also cultivates critical analysis and encourages dialogue regarding the most favorable path towards a flourishing and inclusive society.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Liberty and Democracy Podcast. We hope you found today's content interesting, intriguing, and useful. You're invited to join us again, as our podcast episodes are now published every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In the meanwhile, don't forget to visit our ebook page at www.sersea.com/ebooks, as well as stop by our website at www.libertarian.center, or our Liberty and Democracy YouTube channel at bit.ly/democracyvideos.